Hi, my name is Trisha, and I blog over at intoxicatedonlife.com with my husband. And I decided that I wanted to start chronicling my treatment that I'm going through as I'm fighting off Lyme disease and a couple of co-infections. I just thought it would be a really nice way to share with anyone who's interested. Obviously, treating Lyme disease is a very personal thing that you have to work with your doctor, but you can definitely get some good ideas by seeing what other people are doing. In a lot of ways, my treatment is very personalized to me, but I'm going to just start by going over first the different supplements and medications that I was taking prior to treatment. One of the things I was taking was Nascent iodine. My doctor actually found prior to being diagnosed with Lyme disease, my iodine levels were quite low. So I was taking 20 drops of that. I was taking Nature-Throid, 3 grains of Nature-Throid. And that is very similar to Armour Thyroid, but it doesn't have as many fillers in it as Armour. And a lot of people actually do a lot better on the Nature-Throid than they do the Armour. I was also taking vitamin D, 10,000 IUs a day. I was taking selenium. Selenium's really good for thyroid health. And also if you're taking iodine, it's really important to make sure that you're also taking selenium. Before I started on my Lyme protocol, I was also taking B2 and B3, but we actually cut that out because there's B2 and B3 in some of the other supplements I'm taking, so you're not going to see that here today. Taking probiotics. This is important for everyone, for gut health, and I've been taking those for quite some time. But with the probiotics, I actually rotate the brand that I take just to be able to get a good diversity of microorganisms. So right now I'm taking the Vitacost ones, but I've got several different brands that I rotate in and out. So when I met with my doctor after being diagnosed, one of the first things she wanted to do was there were a number of vitamins that I was deficient in. She said one of the things is that actually happens a lot with Lyme. It doesn't matter if you've got a really great diet, which I believe I have a pretty good diet, but it doesn't matter if you've got a really good diet, but a lot of people end up deficient in a lot of different vitamins. B vitamins was one area. Every single one of my B vitamins was very, very low. So she started me on these B vitamins here, as well as every 3 days I have a B12 injection that I give myself. My melatonin was incredibly low. So despite the fact that I sleep great at night, my melatonin levels were way too low. Melatonin's a really good antioxidant, so that's also just a good thing to take. This is glutathione. It's a spray. It kind of tastes disgusting. When you're dealing with chronic illness, you just really use a lot of it. You use a lot of the glutathione. So Zinc, because again, something else I needed from some of the testing we did. This is Magnesium Malate. She actually recommended a different type of magnesium, but because I already had Magnesium Malate, I asked her if I could just keep taking that, and she said, sure. And then when I replenish it, it will be with the other type of magnesium. This is alpha lipoic acid. One of the reasons I'm taking this is because I have really terrible leg pain. It could be related to neuropathy from the Lyme disease. We're not exactly sure, but she is pretty confident that the leg problems are from the Lyme because I've had a lot of other testing done and we really can't find any other reasons for it. So alpha lipoic acid is supposed to be really good for neuropathy, but then also it is, again, another really good antioxidant, so just another great supplement to take. Interphase Plus. This is to help break up the gunk that the Lyme disease causes. Particularly, again, she thought it might kind of start to help my legs some. And then the one thing that she really wanted to start me on right away, before we got started on the actual Lyme killing protocol, was this supplement, which I'm going to be honest, I don't know how to exactly pronounce. Chlorestryamine resin powder, I think. I had to get it from a compounding pharmacy because apparently what you end up getting from most pharmacies is full of sugar and other fillers that aren't good for you, and Lyme really likes sugar, I guess, and so obviously trying to stay away from the sugar, so we're doing this medication through a compounding pharmacy. But one of the tests that I had done was called a C4A test, and from what I understand, this looks at your biotoxin load, and your levels, I believe, are supposed to be under 2100, and mine were over 21,000. So my biotoxin load was pretty high, and also from my reading, from what I understand, this can be from different things like Lyme disease or parasites like Babesia, or it can be from chronic or from toxic mold exposure. The test doesn't really tell you what it's from, just that you have a really high level of biotoxins is what it showed in mine. So my doctor really wanted me to start this to pull some of the biotoxins out of my body before we started anything that would really just start killing off the Lyme. She was afraid that my body just would not be able to handle the treatment otherwise. So I got started on that, and then after meeting with my doctor, about a week or two later, I had my first low-dose immunotherapy injection. This is a really new treatment for Lyme disease. It's so new that it made me a little bit nervous, but she assured me that it was homeopathic and that it wasn't like a new experimental drug or anything crazy like that. I did a little bit of reading, and then I also watched the creator of the LDI actually has been interviewed, and the interviews are on YouTube. His name is Ty Vincent, and I watched those interviews, and it sounded really interesting, so I decided to go ahead and try it. After my first shot, my experience with that was really quite interesting. The day of the shot, I really didn't notice anything different. I felt pretty crummy, like I feel most days. Had kind of a bad headache later in the day. But the next day, I really was feeling really good, and I thought, well, maybe I'm just having a good day. But then the next day, I had all sorts of energy. It was really crazy. And by that day, I was like cleaning out closets and doing all sorts of things around my house that I haven't done for quite a while. And that lasted a couple of days, and then the effects of it seemed to just sort of dwindle off. From what I understand about LDI, that means they hit the dose for me just at the right place the first time off, which is awesome. Apparently, if the dose is too low for you, that you end up not really seeing any benefit at all from it. And if the dose is too high for you, you end up feeling really terrible. So they try not to go too high on the first dose. Better to go too low than too high. But if it's just right, then you should have some sort of benefit. And then, hypothetically speaking, the next time I get an LDI shot, those benefits should last for longer than just a few days, and each time it's supposed to last longer and longer. So whether that happens or not is yet to be seen, but that was really awesome to have a few days where I had lots of energy and felt really good. So I'll be interested in seeing what this second shot brings, but unfortunately, I can't have another shot for 2 months because you can only have the shots every 2 months, which is kind of a bummer. But that is my protocol as I got started. So I will talk to you next time after I have the next set of protocols.